Hey everyone, I'm Princess Link and welcome back to Metal Gear Solid 4. Finally, I've been putting this off for like a year, probably. I don't even know why. Just, whatever. Wait. Okay, you want to see my favorite Metal Gear thing I bought on Etsy? It doesn't involve Otacon because, anyway, this Twin Snakes. Anyway, okay. Chapter 4. While Snake rushed into the hallway leading to the server room, giants overran Missouri's desk. With Missouri clinging to her hull, Haven couldn't launch her VLS missiles. At this close range, any launched warheads might strike either ship. Even those that connected with Missouri could send debris. I am in Missouri! I don't know what I'm doing. But yeah, it's been like a year. Whatever. The sudden brief flying to tear through Haven's armor. Careless destruction of the battleship could send both vessels into the sea. Haven denied use of the tremendous firepower of the VLS and MLRS weapons, changed tactics, opting instead to tear Missouri apart. And Haven had a great number of machines on board that could do just that. Haven's guards, the unmanned rays, cut through water, shot into the sky, and landed on the old battleship's deck. Excuse me. Their claws gouging into the wood. Again, the ship rocked, and several of the deck crew were thrown into the sea. Some of the bridge staff hit their heads, suffering concussions, and lost consciousness. I didn't pass out when I had a concussion. It's like the most pathetic way to get a concussion ever, because I was just sitting out of swimming at school, and somebody threw a ball, and it hit the pool skimmer thing, which was, of course, right on top of me, and it just fell and hit my head. Dr. Emmerich, Maitling said, "It's too dangerous for you on the bridge. Get below deck." "It's dangerous to go alone." She stared unflinchingly at the looming, ominous face of an unmanned ray on the other side of the bridge window. "But this is a military vessel, and I'm the captain. This is a military operation, and I have command. That was an order. Follow it." Bitch. I did. Notebook in hand, I fled down the rumbling ladderway, which I think... By notebook, he means a laptop, I believe. Like, who even calls a laptop a notebook? That's weird. She was right, anyway. In those conditions, I wouldn't have been able to support Snake or to upload the worm. I worried for Mei Ling, but such attention would only get in her way. Besides, she was the captain, and this was her ship. One ray stood in front of a 3-gun turret, which Mei Ling ordered to open 0-degree fire. The shell obliterated the robot's torso and split the ray's body in two. I wondered if I didn't need to worry about her younger comrades after all. Mei Ling was the real captain. Of course, that didn't mean I felt Snake and I could abandon our reparations. As long as we could ease the battles of those who faced the future, even if only by a little, we had to. And since we had sown the seeds of conflict, the duty was ours all the more. I descended from the bridge and ran back to the briefing room. "Snake, what's your situation?" Snake was surrounded. I flipped open my notebook computer. See, I told you. To see gun barrel after gun barrel after gun barrel. While I moved down from the bridge, the Mark III had been on autopilot, following directly behind Snake. The image on my screen was a direct feed from the robot's camera. A chill ran down my spine. At the inner entrance to the microwave corridor, Snake was in a hopeless situation. Too bad he's not on Earth. No. There was I really have to explain this because nobody uses Tumblr anymore. But for a while on Tumblr, ants in the microwave was like a meme. Because if you put an ant in the microwave, they'll be fine because they'll just dodge the microwaves. So that was a meme on Tumblr for a while. Wait, I got my kitty earrings on. Anyway. The Great Oil isolated the survey cluster from static electricity and even electromagnetic pulses. Thick sandwich sheets of tungsten, gold, and ceramics stood like a monolith before Snake, who helplessly struggled against his own body. His legs had buckled under repeated spasms, and Naomi's nanomachine injection had lost any effect. I got this peach, Animal Crossing peach stress ball. And it smells really good. Gasping for air, Snake had just made it to the doorway when the Haven troopers rushed out of their hiding places. The armed soldiers, about 10 or so in number, crowded the confined space and moved to surround the old man, who had dropped to hands and knees. Like a ghastly lynch mob, the soldiers closed in. "Come on!" I shouted. "Get up! On your feet, Snake!" No, I was just thinking about it. It's like Snake, like, whatever. A joke I was gonna make, but on Tumblr. Follow me on Tumblr, by the way. I'll put the link in the description. I mean, if you have Tumblr. If you don't, I guess you can follow me on Twitter. I don't use it that much. Anyway, and Twitch. Don't forget Twitch. I'm probably gonna stream Xenoblade Future Connected today, later, or maybe I won't. I don't know. It just if I upload this the same day I record it or not. Oh, I sent my Joy-Con to get fixed by Nintendo and it came back, so I can finally play on my Switch again. Oh, annoying. There's like stuff saying that, like, oh, Nintendo's not fixing Joy-Cons right now, and it's like, literally, what are you talking about? Yes, they are. Like, it was from like April 22nd or something, and it was like, yeah, how to fix your Joy-Con while Nintendo's not doing it. It's like, literally, they are. I just sent mine in to get fixed. They are fixing it. Anyway. He tried to stand, but the strength had left his legs. He slumped back against the doorway and slid down to the floor. If I don't do something, he's done for. I steadied my resolve. I didn't think the Mark III could win against the mob, but the little robot might be able to buy some time. I routed full power to the Mark III's wheels and balancers and sent the Metal Gear charging at the line of troops. "Wait!" Snake said, and a flash of light flickered above the soldiers' heads. Like a ball of lightning, the thing spun through the air, emitting fierce electricity, and planted itself between Snake and the soldiers. It was a man. From head to toe, bolts of electricity emanated from him. He stopped the soldiers in their tracks with a murderous glare. "Raiden!" Snake said. "I am lightning. The rain transformed." Raiden's muscles tensed, and an arc of lightning flew from his body. He was the god of thunder reborn. In his mouth, he held a sword by the blade. After the events on Shadowmost... I'm sorry. He was left without arms. His tissues and circulation system remained closed at the shoulders, from which draped a long black leather coat. He had reached the depths of Haven in this condition. He held the long katana blade wedged between his lips as if to keep balance, and the sight reminded me of a balancing toy. More like a dog. Tell me a pose that's like Snake putting the sword in Raiden's mouth. It's like me giving my dog his stick toy when he doesn't feel like playing, and then it's reverses like me taking the stick toy from my dog when he realizes that I have to, when he doesn't realize that he has to give it to me so I can throw it. To make it this far, he could scarcely be human. "Snake," Raiden said. Leave this to me. I'll go to the server room. The look in his eyes caused me to shudder, and probably Snake too. They glistened with a tinge of madness. Here I fight, and here I die. My life is but for this moment. But Raiden's conviction was nothing more than an idea he quickly grasped to protect his own freaking hide. Snake understood this. We're all trapped in a maze of relationships. What goes on with or without you? No, I was watching, I guess, the end of Metal Gear Solid 2, and, somebody's like, oh, that which we call self is nothing more than a mask or whatever, and I'm like, oh, okay, now this is Persona 4. Anyway. It's like, okay, now this is Persona 4. We're all trapped. I have not played a Persona game in so long. Streaming Persona 4 though on Twitch, so follow me. I don't know. Anyway. His voice raspy but firm, Snake said, the corridors are awash in microwaves. It should just be me. Jack's world of fighting as a child soldier, then as a member of Foxhound, was gone. Even Colonel, in command of the Big Shell operation, had only been a simulation projected by the Patriots through nanomachines into Raiden's mind. Now, when I was obsessed with Snake's codec taunt when I was 12, for some reason. I thought it was the funniest thing. Anyway, I still have the entire Peach codec memorized for some reason. My mom is texting me, stop, I'm busy. Anyway, but yeah, I used to call Campbell just Colonel, because that's how the Snake called him, and I didn't know his name. It wasn't even the Colonel, it was just Colonel. Also, when, for a while actually, I called the Palutena's Guidance the Kid Icarus codec taunt, because I didn't realize that the codec was a Metal Gear thing. I got another job. I got a job at the camp counselor, but it doesn't start till the end of June. So anyway, yeah, just Colonel. No, just even Colonel. Huh? Not the Colonel, not Colonel Campbell or whatever. I don't know. The Foxhound unit he believed he'd recently joined was non-existent, having disbanded after the incident on Shadow Moses. Then, when the new life carried in Rose's body met a sorrowful end, Raiden needed to find some purpose to hang on to preserve what he was. Can we talk about how just effed up it is that Rose faked a miscarriage? I don't even dislike her, but it's such a traumatic thing when people miscarriages are it's such a traumatic thing to just fake, you know? I mean, still, I don't even know what I'm saying at this point. My body is a machine. Again, Raiden's burden was too heavy to bear. His despair dwarfed anything Snake or I could imagine. His loneliness, 1,000 blades piercing his body. I've read. This is the 4th page I've read, and it's 14 minutes already. Someday he would forget he was ever human. Wait. But to bury his despair and loneliness, he clung to his yearning like a feral beast. Someday he would forget he was ever human. Snake raised his voice, hoping to bring this young warrior, who Snake himself might have cursed to this condition, back to humanity, back to a life with Rose. Your body may be a machine, but your heart is human. You've got a life to go back to. Is that canon? Or is it a metaphor? Oh, like, no, my heart is also... Actually, face my gons still have their original organs, don't they? Which is, speaking of which, I still need to write my fanfic where Emma comes back as a cyborg. I've been talking about it for like a year at this point, and I still haven't gotten around to it. Anyway, because Xenoblade, baby. Oh. Do I even have to say that it's like a spoiler? Because that game is literally, like, Xenoblade 1, the original, for the Wii, came out 12 years ago, 2010. Like, I mean, and even then, Definitive Edition came out like 2 years ago. I haven't finished it, but I finished the original. I'm bad at finishing games. Now, I literally have a list of like every game that I'm currently playing, and it's like almost 2 pages at this point, because I just keep starting games and like not finishing them, and just... Anyway, she means nothing to me now. Raiden, look me in the eye. Snake knew words wouldn't be enough. He found the strength to stand and presented to Raiden the battered countenance of an old soldier. Raiden's eyes, wild with obsession, perceived the magnitude of Snake's burdens and shrank back. You still have your youth, Snake said. Don't waste it. You can start over. You're not saddled with your troubles. You're only clinging to them. You think destiny and fate to be burdens, but no shadow falls over your future. I forgot how much that messes with my throat. Even now, despite being surrounded by enemies, no, because of it, Snake tried to sever the illusory bonds that tightly bound Raiden. This too was a duty Snake felt compelled to fulfill. Meanwhile, there's just like a million enemy soldiers watching them, like, we're all trapped in a maze of relationships. Life goes on with or without you. That's like all I know. We are living in a world of so much information. From here on, Snake said, this is my fight. We tore the world apart. We made your life a living hell. It's my duty to put an end to all this. He didn't even do anything. He literally didn't do anything. It's just living in a world. Okay. Perhaps in this moment, Raiden began to understand why Snake continued to fight, even in his current state. Perhaps Raiden finally comprehended the true meaning of Snake's words in that early morning on Manhattan Island. What? Maybe you were only forced to play the role of Raiden in the Patriot script, but everything you felt and everything you thought is yours. I don't remember that. When did he say that? After 5 years, Raiden, Jack, had taken in the deeper meaning of those words. He had been fighting to free Snake. That was the reason he told himself that he'd been fighting. That was the one way he could find meaning in a life once spent as a child soldier, and once spent as an imitation of as an imitation snake. It's like that imitation crab, you know. Which, like, what even is that made out of? If it's not crab, I think it's like some fish or something. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But yeah, it's delicious. But by doing so, he only bound Snake. Biden realized that his intent to save the legendary man who had once rescued him only added to the tired old man's pain. What Snake wanted was for people like Jack to be free from Snake himself, to be relieved of the weight of Snake's minions, to have their own lives back. "I'll release you," Biden had once told Snake, and that was the only way. And the only way he could achieve that was to see Snake off to battle. "All right," Biden said. "I'll make sure they don't get through." Biden, possessing a newfound resolve, pushed back the surrounding Haven troopers with a sharp stare. The intimidated soldiers edged away, their fan-like formation expanding as much as the confines would permit. I connected the Mark III's manipulator to the identification reader next to the door, and with Naomi's passcode opened the way. "Hold on until we insert the virus," I said. "You got me?" Jack radiated lightning, which is also not explained. Like, why, it's like, Raiden, Logan, unexplained lightning powers. Like, it's never explained why. If he couldn't hold the troopers back, we'd have no chance. As Snake staggered through the doorway, Jack spoke softly, his stare holding the enemy voices at bay. "Snake," he said. "Thank you." For a moment, Snake stood still, but he didn't say anything. He had no time to weigh whether his curse had been truly lifted from his junior. Yet hope remained. More is yet to come. A long struggle may yet await, but this young man has been given plenty of time, unlike me. Snake could only have hope, faith in that hope, as slim as it might have been. He stumbled ahead. Biden faced the Haven troopers' guns, and Snake went off into the corridor of death, and the solid, heavy door slid down behind their backs as if cutting the cursed thread that bound them. The moment he stepped into the hexagonal corridor, Snake was engulfed in microwaves. Too bad he's not solid ant. I'm sorry. Lethal electromagnetic waves emanated from all 6 faces of the hallway, their wavelength penetrating bone tissue and cell membrane and assaulting the water within every one of the 60 trillion cells within Snake's body. Before the mission, I had applied a thick coating of aluminum dust to Snake's sneaking suit. The process was our best and only option against the microwaves. As in the door of a microwave oven, a metal plate, even if only a mesh, absorbed most of the energy. I chose aluminum for the metal's non-magnetic properties, since metal that reacted to magnets heated rapidly when exposed to microwaves. Aluminum has been used for shielding in microwave ovens because, besides absorbing microwaves, the metal was low cost and wouldn't radiate heat from dielectric loss. Of course, I would have wanted to cover Snake's entire body with the metal shield and provide complete protection from the fatal radiation. But had I done so, he wouldn't have had the mobility to infiltrate the ship's interior, let alone the server room. I could do nothing for the gaps and joints of Snake's suit. The suit was a complex assemblage of muscle-like fibers, and the edges between them, the parts that moved, couldn't be coated. And even if I had been able to, the aluminum dust only absorbed a small amount of the radiation. The shielding on a microwave oven was maybe a half a millimeter thick, but the coating's protection would not even be 1/100th of that. A few steps in, and the pain overwhelmed Snake and brought him to the ground. I cried out to Snake. His octo camo had gone haywire and turned the same red color as the burning floor. The sneaking suit began to change from its typical grayish blue to a deep crimson. The muscular design of the suit made Snake look like his skin had been stripped away to reveal the blood-red muscles beneath. Snake couldn't even breathe anymore. Cough anymore. He couldn't breathe. In his lungs and his heart, and every other organ in his body, Snake's blood heated, quickly approaching the limits the warm-blooded animal could bear. Broken blood vessels hemorrhaged within the confines of the suit, and the blood, unusually thick, painted dark red stains on Snake's skin. Snake was boiling alive. "Stand!" I yelled. "Snake, stand up!" I knew he wouldn't be able to hear, too. But having the water in his body boil within him would not be a peaceful death. Through the intense heat, Snake extended his right arm. He crawled. Excruciatingly slow, as if drowning in the inferno, he advanced, one arm at a time. I thought I saw smoke rise from the joints in Snake's suit, then his left upper arm exploded. Snake screamed a bone-chilling scream like none I'd ever heard. Reflexively, I closed my eyes. Somewhere, the heat had localized and evaporated, and the vaporized water expanded until it had no place left to go, then blew through muscle and skin. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. A human body exploding bit by bit. I fought down waves of nausea. On Snake's arm, his muscles were exposed, and several tendons detached from bone dangled like crimson ribbons from which steam continued to waft. Again, Snake fell to the floor, devoid of enough strength to even writhe in pain. Snake, please, don't give up on me. I wanted to look away. How could I face such a sight? My friend, who I had stood with through 9 years of battles, was being cooked, broken, and mutilated. A mere 3 seconds of watching the dreadful scene was enough to drive me mad. So just for 1 second, I closed my eyes, selfishly hiding from the sight of the legendary man, pushed beyond his limits in the fight to fulfill his duty. But Snake's moan required better of me. More than an utterance of pain, it was a song, refusing defeat, rising above the hurt, continuing ahead. I couldn't close my eyes to his cry. He was trying to press on. To turn my eyes from him now would be unforgivable. Otacon, Snake said, his creaky voice escaping from a burning throat. Are you there? Softly, I said, Yeah, I'm here. On the verge of weeping, I forced my voice to steady. I'm with you, Snake, now and always. Why did you decide to fight alongside me? I found it odd that Snake would ask such a question amid pain that would make remaining conscious a struggle. For a moment, I was stunned, but I realized I needed to answer quickly and set my brain to work. Snake needed my voice now. To retain his senses while his body was destroyed, he needed something to hang on to. I'm waiting for an answer. I thought that might not be enough to jar his memory. I believed my answer honest, although in truth, this was only one of my reasons for sticking with Snake. As I'd expected, Snake seemed not to understand. Answer! On Shadow Moses, after we laid Sniper Wolf to rest, and you started off to destroy Rex, I asked you, what was she fighting for? What are you fighting for? No, this can't be happening! I can't. What am I fighting for? The Kurdish wolf had fallen in the sniper battle in the snowy field. Standing beside her, the falling snow quickly engulfing her body, I asked those questions to Snake's back. Never before had I witnessed 2 people fight to the death. Why do 2 people have to fight each other? Why do Bionis and Mechonis have to keep on fighting? I had lost the woman I cared for, and as I cried, I couldn't hold back that simple and childish, yet fundamental question. And then you looked over your shoulder at me and said, if we make it through this, I'll tell you. But we escaped Shadow Moses alive, Snake, and you never gave me the answer. I've stayed with you to hear the answer you held back. Standing here, I realize you were just like me, trying to make history. But who's to judge the right from wrong? When our guard is down, I think we'll both agree. Violence breeds violence, but in the end it has to be this way. Back then, I lived only for myself, because I didn't want to die. My survival instinct gave me reason to live. That's the same for everybody, I said. There's no I said. That was likely true for everyone on that island, including Wolf, Psycho Mantis, Vulcan Raven, and Liquid. I live. I don't want to die yet. To feel that sense of being alive, we had thrown ourselves into battlegrounds to be close to death. After the end of the Cold War, Liquid feared that kind of world would be lost. Dude, you're like 10 when the Cold War ended. No, it's... I don't know when the Cold War ended, actually. Was it 1990 or 91? Yeah, it was early 90s. It was like... pretty much right after Metal Gear 2 came out. He led the rebellion at Shadow Moses in order to build a world wrapped up in war. There's a voice that says they're hiding my soul, and the sun goes down with all my... No, to build a world by warriors and for warriors. You're not the only one, I said. I only felt truly alive when I was staring death in the face. And after we left that island, I wanted to enjoy life. I really thought so. The 9 years with me, have they been fun? Snake kept crawling as flesh burned and fluid spoiled. It's like what Frank said when he died. We're not tools of the government or anyone else. Fighting was the only thing he was good at, but at least he always fought for what he believed in. Have you heard you say something like that yourself, Snake? Thanks to you, I've remained true to those words through every battle. Thanks to you, I've seen my battle through to the end. I'm content with that. After he finished speaking, it took me a moment to notice Snake had reached the end of the seemingly endless corridor. Steam and smoke rising from his body, Snake crawled out from the heat ray hell. The power assist layer on the sneaking suit had frayed all over, exposing the inner material, the cloth stained red where Snake's skin had burst. I attached the Mark III's manipulator arm to the door security panel and opened the way ahead. Finally free from the microwave hell, Snake attempted to stand, raising up to one knee, only to collapse immediately under his body's own weight. He fell forward into the server room. You know that one part and when they go to Shadow Moses and Snake jumps out of the helicopter and, like, I guess slips on the snow and falls on his back. Like, it's obviously supposed to be like, oh, like a but honestly, it makes me laugh every time because it's just like, I have problems. Like, no, I literally started laughing during Viora's death scene. But in my defense, I already redacted. No, I already knew she survived, and also I was thinking about something else. Anyway. Down on the floor, Snake vomited violently. He tried to inject Naomi's nanomachines, but his arm couldn't complete the motion. I used the manipulator to press the auto-injector against his neck, just as I had tried to do on Shadow Moses to deliver an end to the dying vamp. Filled with those memories, I turned the Metal Gear's camera to look around the server room. This is GW, I said. The room was the graveyard. Tens, even hundreds of black burnished tombstones stood waist high in rows along within a long rectangular space the size of a football field. I felt like we'd emerged into the underworld. After further inspection, I realized that each tombstone was a server, though none shared any characteristics with my mental image of the servers I've used. None had even a single running indicator light. With the quiet, orderly rows of ebony slabs, the room seemed less a server room than a cemetery, where the dead slept never to awake until the resurrection at the Last Judgment. Before each tombstone, a cluster of pure white flowers waved, blown about by a breeze with no origin. They were holograms, stars of Bethlehem, like those planted in the potter's field where the boss and big boss's graves stood. In a pained, raspy voice, Snake said, "Otacon, can you do it?" The nanomachines had helped, but not much. "Leave it to me," I said, and piloted the Mark III to one of the tombstones. I lifted up the cover to a maintenance panel in the floor and inserted the robot's manipulator into the access port. Hurriedly, I searched for the best location to upload the worm. GW comprised unimaginably large system. Everything rested on my ability to find the right place to insert the first line of code. For that, I had less than a minute to search through the galaxy of information combined within GW's exabyte of data. At once, I launched several trawler agents, my scouts, and handled the stream of reports as they came in. If I transmitted the worm into the wrong place, days, or even weeks might pass before GW's ability to define and comprehend data would be completely destroyed. No matter how powerful Sunny's finished version of the cluster might have been, if the worm took too much time to overwhelm the AI, we would lose. Less than 2 minutes remained before Liquid would re-establish connection with JD and fire the railgun nuke. After that, Emma, Sunny, and Naomi's stories would become meaningless. Shut up about Naomi! Shut up about Naomi! I don't like Naomi at all. Naomi eat shit challenge. I would say eat shit and die, but she thought I did it. John, I want a divorce. Divorce? It's Big Boss and Eva. Or Big Boss and any of his partners. Big Boss and Gaz. Okay. Snake lifted his rifle and roared in pain. He had sensed something. Even this near death, his senses hadn't dulled. Snake, what's wrong? Beyond the tip of Snake's gun barrel, which he had somehow managed to raise, rolled a single black bowling ball. The object glided towards Snake to be joined by others like it, rolling out from behind the gravestones. The black swarm came at Snake in the Mark III, carpeting the ground, and extended human-like arms. Scarabs, the small, unmanned scouts that had attacked Big Mama's base in Eastern Europe. Big Mama's in the kitchen, and everybody's wishing she's fixing their favorite dish. Just hanging out with the family, having ourselves a party. Just hanging out with my family, having ourselves a party. The carpet rose up, leaping at Snake, who remained on his back. Snake squeezed the trigger. Pull the trigger, something's hiding. Look back, watch out, where the hell are we? Escape from murder. How did we get here, man? Why am I singing so much today? Looking down the town of New LA. And the M4 kicked in. No, it's just... Wait. There. No. I'm gonna be a VTuber now. I'm a VTuber now. This is my... No, I'm kidding. I love Otacon. I don't know if you can tell. Wait, hold on. Hi. I don't know, okay. His body, scorched, bled, and ravaged, no longer had the strength to handle an assault rifle. But Snake endeavored to protect the Mark III from the scarabs. Every jet-black arms grasped Snake, and in an instant the bowling balls were all over him. Somehow, Snake pulled his knife and stabbed at the scarab with his... stabbed at a scarab at his side. The robot's red sensor eye flickered out, its time slackened, and it fell to the floor. The rest of the swarm, in unison, shot out electricity, the spikes stabbing into Snake's body. machines attacked without mercy, striking at pieces of muscle and bone exposed by the microwave blowouts. I thought back to when Ocelot had interrogated him on Shadow Moses. Back then, Snake possessed the youth to withstand the pain, but now, his body cooked by microwaves, he struggled to remain conscious through those lethal shocks. But if he fell, the mech would be next. Otacon! As Snake released a death-like cry, Sunny, Emma, and Naomi's self-replicating story eroded through GW's core agent cluster. In front of Meryl and Johnny, at the door in the CIC, the Haven troopers froze. So did the soldiers bearing down on the armless Raiden at the entrance to the microwave corridor. Throngs of Gecko filled Missouri's deck. Giant rays stomped through the wooden deck to split the battleship in two. In an instant, the machines shut down. We did it! I read from my notebooks to the display to confirm we had taken over GW. The self-replicating worm cluster had practically exploded through the system. The program overwhelmed the core high-speed information processing sectors and deleted nearly all the program units. The scarabs fell from Snake's body as if molting from his skin. The tiny robots had gone completely immobile and began to roll with Haven's gentle sway atop the ocean. Wait a minute, I said. I looked at my screen. Wait a minute! Something wasn't right. I had set up a window to display the progress of the worm clusters fed through a mapped rendering of GW's architecture. But the worm pushed farther than I'd anticipated. The program forced through every boundary and spread, like an insolent army, to every corner of the map, replicating with abandon. Is it removing the other clones? I wondered, then rejected the hypothesis. The worm's territory extended beyond GW's network. Not content with consuming GW in its entirety, the cluster reached its tentacles out toward the other AIs. It can't be. Naomi? I couldn't believe what I was seeing. As the worm expanded its influence, the display map of GW's network zoomed out. A planet retreated into a solar system, then a galaxy, and onto a nebula. The worm was expanding into the entire universe of the Patriots Information Network. Noticing my unease, Snake asked, Otacon, what is it? GW's being erased. What? Already the worm cluster had nearly complete dominion over JD. The self-replicating Tempest overloaded JD's central processor cores, destroying them. The AI's highest processing core, in effect, the Patriots themselves, failed. The Worm Legion engulfed the immense neural network. Then the worms, content at having entirely supplanted JD, solemnly engaged in their planned self-destruction. It happened so quickly. Screams and whispers, innermost feelings, lies and confessions. Every human word, every human story, spoken or written, flowing through the networks of the world. Every business transaction, real or virtual, whether over the phone or by email, someone had declared love, someone had demanded a breakup, devouring every scrap of day-to-day information. The Patriots' prediction and control constructed the universe into a jail where everything was predetermined, woven by the biggest and most complex narrative in human history. A book titled Reality, a one-to-one map. A single large tale written by a cold-hearted, arrogant, and lonesome gods, and the belief that restricting the human narrative was the only path to preventing the extinction of the human race. Effortlessly brought to failure, then destruction by the stories of only 3 people. This day, before my eyes, a universe perished. The warm pulse of network traffic cooled in an instant, falling into eternal silence. I felt like I had witnessed the last moment of time, the heat death of the universe. Snake, Hal, it's you, isn't it? I hope you're listening. Naomi's face appeared. I can't even remember if I was still doing the accent for her. It's been so long. But whatever. Naomi's face appeared on every wall of the server graveyard. I sank to my knees in astonishment. Naomi smiled at me. She had smiled when she heard Sunny made the egg swell, and she'd smiled many times when we talked together. But I'd never seen her smile like this. Of course, she wasn't actually looking at me now. This was a pre-recorded message. The virus you uploaded used GW as a conduit to annihilate the entire AI network. All 4 AIs, along with JD, the core that tied them all together. I've set this video to play once they're all gone. Sons of the Patriots was only the beginning. The Patriots were planning to use nanomachines to implement the system to control the entire population. I had an obligation to stop it, with a little help from Sonny. Didn't Sonny do most of it, actually? She believed her talents could help you put GW to rest. She created an anti-AI fox dye. The virus's name is Fox Alive. It's the conceptual opposite of the nanomachines I created all those years ago. We wish to free the captured foxes, to let them run free in the wild. Her expression showed no trace of darkness, no sense of tragedy, or the pain she must have felt. Her smile was that of one friend talking with another. Her smile was that of someone nestling close to the one she loved. Her smile held no cynicism and was so typical as to become beautiful. Naomi had reached the horizon of that smile. Believing that the dead couldn't forgive, I tried to live a life without regret. Misdeeds once committed couldn't be undone, and so the only avenue was recompense. I thought the same applied to Snake and Naomi. But Naomi had come much, much further than us. She had arrived at the final destination for souls, a place accessible only after one's time on Earth had been spent, and we saw it. We saw the smile of a woman who had stepped into the world beyond atonement. By the time you hear this, I'm afraid I'll be gone. This is a strange feeling. To be alive, recording a message for after I'm dead. Hal, if you're listening. I'm listening, I said. I never felt anything so nice as to hear her call me Hal. I'm sorry I deceived you. It hurt me more than anything else, lying to you like that. I wanted to apologize to you before I died. Not even that was allowed me. I mean, you could have. You killed yourself, dumbass. And yet, in the end, it doesn't even matter. 'Cause I hate you. I can finally feel the joy of living. Thank you, Hal. I realize now that with everything over, I didn't need to hold back my tears. Her choice couldn't have been a happy one. Afflicted by illness, she had used the time she had left to make amends for her sins. Few would find joy in thusly spending their last days. Yet her eyes were at peace. Snake, hear me. Still on the ground, Snake lifted his head. Our country is an innocent child once more. A new dawn is rising. Now she can build a new destiny for herself. Snake, the time has come. You've earned your rest. Snake had mingled Frank and watched the man be killed. He'd stolen Naomi's brother away from her, and he knew he carried it with him. I know this from his doubts during our briefing when he asked if she was on our side. During the Shadow Moses incident, Snake said to her, Naomi, I don't blame you for wanting me dead. He carried her hatred on his back. But Naomi had forgiven him after the incident 9 years ago. I mean, he killed him. He killed Grey Fox more than 9 years ago. It was like 6 years before Shadow Moses. I think. I don't remember. Yeah, it was 99. When we were filled in 2005. And now she had finally been able to tell him. She didn't hate anyone anymore. But to fulfill her duty, she couldn't let Snake know. After she died, Snake thought he would never earn her forgiveness. And now to suddenly be granted that which he thought was lost. Snake felt bewildered. The legendary warrior was not used to such kindness. Strange, since he had so much kindness within himself. Shut up. Not about the kindness part, that's whatever. But, who cares about Naomi? Ugh. Who cares if she forgives you? She tried to kill you. His speech had said, Naomi's gaze turned off screen to somewhere in the distance, as if she could see her next destination. Her eyes held no fear. Or maybe they did, only for an overpowering hope to scatter such shadows and lead her ever forward. She looked not just to the past, but also to the future. The rose petal is about to fall. In the end, it doesn't even matter! I made that joke twice, in 2 minutes. Oh my god. Everyone went to the same place. Soon I'll be there, Snake said. The man-made rose and the snake born not from nature. Our stories were near their end. Another violent spasm racked Snake's body. He hardly had the strength left to even cough. His chest convulsed and his muscles clenched, and Snake curled into the fetal position. "I said things right. Now let me go." And Snake slipped from consciousness. Anyway, if you like this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.